All right. Well, one of the wisest things I know about Roundup is it causes more problems with your respiratory breathing stuff. When the hotter it gets, the more chemicals it puts out. So tomorrow I'll go through with I'll put on my mask and cut all that back and lube the John Deere and start driving and cut around everything I can see and just keep cutting and pulling until further notice. So I just got to just stay consistent. I didn't, shit. I was trying to stay out of the way with all the equipment stuff. And then it happened right after. And I was like, damn, I should have listened. I'm tired. And Suzuki gets it. He goes, I understand completely. He goes, it's wrong, to be in a forced labor camp. So instead of look at it like another day lost in hell, look at it another day closer to the kingdom of heaven. So look at your tired as a way for the technology to find ways to end this unnecessary, aggressive, excessive, compulsive abuse. The last conversation I had with Bruce Lee, okay, I was looking at that section of wall right there. Okay, I said, "You mean I could kick and knock all that down?" He goes, Probably not. Why? Because from what I've heard about you and about you is that you don't have to train. It's the chi or the key. And what has that wall ever done to you except keep the rain and the snow off of you and Zeke? And I was like, yeah, you're right. What has that wall ever done to you? That's what he said. So why would you take something out on that wall? And besides, the meditations he had with Suzuki and Krishnamurti, you can train and train and train and train. Who rules the world and who do you believe in when anyone breathing can leave your ass bleeding, right? You can physically train till you're the greatest fighter in the whole world. And they kill you with poison, right? So if you train and train and train and try to survive poisoning, they'll poison you slowly to make an example of you, right? So the Messiah is a radically different human being than a warrior. Okay, he's the gracious good shepherd. He's the eternal perfect one. He is stronger when everybody else is weak because their selfishness denies the glory of grace and the beauty of our eternal existence. So you're talking about a man that is so strong that he doesn't even figure it out. What? You mean other people die? Oh, okay. Other people die from this? I did not know that. They dying from this? And so the way my body expels toxins is phenomenal. And you get people, well, Haile Selassie recovered. They surgically tried to repair him. He recovered. He was recovering. He was assassinated. Okay. But the CIA and all that, okay, every time, okay, since the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, okay, every time they've attempted to murder, okay, the one they refer to as the Messiah, okay, horrible things happen. Okay, the Chinese had this option to follow the one like Confucius, and they chose to poison him to death. Okay. And it's been horrible in China ever since. Okay. Suzuki, when he connected to me and then killed all those people and then tried to obliterate all that work from even existing, except for me, right? And who's the focal point of correcting human selfishness with their own technology? It's in all the religions, okay? So when me and Bruce had that last conversation, right, I was just, well, he knows how cute she is, I was like, is she cute? She looks a lot like her mommy too. Would you cute? Right? So I was sitting there looking at the little photos with him and his daughter. And everybody, when they're little and cute, they're tiny, they're so cute, And told you, he knew that Brandon was going to be murdered. Okay. And he wasn't going to be there to be able to stop it because he was going to be murdered. Okay? You train and you train and you train and you train. And they poison you and use a stage prop to murder your son making movies for propaganda like you did. That's a bitter pill to swallow. When you're dying from the poisoning and you're talking to, so when the man comes, there will be no doom. One song and pity on those whose chances grow thinner. There ain't no hiding place from the truth of our creation, right? You cannot hide the truth of our creation under your ego, under your perceptions and your delusions of power and grandeur. So the military is imploding itself right now. On the outside, you guys got to deal with that. On the inside, no. Here in New Mexico, in the, most manipulated and exploited section of, most people don't, like the little girl said tonight on the news, most people don't even know we're a state. He's a foreign potentate, according to most people that don't even know. He's from Mexico? He's an American goddamn Mexican? He's a goddamn Mexican and a nigger lover to boot. All his children are with niggers? Yeah, and I play basketball like a homosexual Negro. Or a Joto Negro. That boy think he bad, right? Still do. Even with 245 pounds on my, yeah. That'll come off. Eventually, it's going to take time. I'm not panicking through it because I know there's still going to be things of agitation to keep me angry and mad. And this is me angry and mad. And the military, guys, you don't have to physically exterminate a disgusting individual, okay, to get technology to understand that is a disgusting individual and cannot self-correct, and there's going to have to be some way to either exterminate them or expose them so radically that they can no longer have any manipulation capacity among human beings to keep children safe from perverts like them or spies like us. That was a goofy-ass movie. Yeah, it was kind of funny, though, but the thing is, it's not funny. Because espionage is stupid. It's insane. It makes no sense. Me and Dad were talking about it today when we were loading up the stuff. And trust me, the kids at Google know. Okay. If you eliminate the money making mechanism of the server, okay, the security of communication is so much better because it's limited access between 2 points. There's no server, okay, that has access to everything for national security and for, it's better have my money. Killer zombie pimps from outer space, right? And give Dirty Larry the finger, right? So he's always working at the post office, right? And so so we got this, man. Que gacha. No te quiero más. I love that song. Love is a losing game. I like that one too. Anybody else like that song? It's a total limerick. It still makes me, maybe it's because it reminds me of the kids, like 6, 8, 12. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you went away. Yeah, I don't know. And no, MacArthur Park. That one always makes me cry. And don't hit your grandma off a big stick. No, that's the Darling Girl on Andy Griffith Show. But Earl is funny. I know. I was raised in America, born in 1966. Pick up sticks, Las Cruces, New Mexico. Yeah, I went and saw the thing. I wasn't sure exactly when. They told me that Charlie Barker died. And I don't want the night to end. Don't you guys like Phoebe Snow too? I was 9 years old when Bruce died. So I don't, they didn't have the same news type coverage and the things we have today. And he had gone from, because everybody talked about it when you were in school, little kids. I was 9, and Bruce Lee, he's just the greatest. And he then died, and everybody, he was murdered. He was. Okay. A lot of people, no, he was. Okay. Guys, you're talking about a man, okay, who went totally natural to try to keep his body as healthy as possible, taking someone else's prescription med for a migraine. That's why when you hear what's his name, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talk about it was an accident. It wasn't a fucking accident. No, Bruce Lee took somebody's prescription medication for a migraine. Bruce Lee, really? Bruce Lee did that. Okay, I understand, because I get very poisoned by the military and it gets very hard. And I took like a cold medication to try to sleep better. And it was one of these little things you suck on. And it just like's helpful and it didn't work. It made me kind of like, and I didn't take anymore. It doesn't help. Any little thing. I don't take any extreme medications, but I don't take any anymore at all. I remember I took Mucinex because Chris said to do that, and then Dayquil, whatever, during COVID. And it just kind of masked some of the symptoms, but I worked in a freezer, Freon freezer, in a freezing unit with chemicals for cleaning that could rot the balls off a bull. Okay. Yeah, during COVID. And then they fired me and I recovered. And then if I hadn't have gotten my vaccination because of the threats, you can't go shopping, I'd probably be about 200 pounds, maybe less now, and be a lot healthier. I wouldn't have this problem getting all the problems with the vaccine out of my liver. So, yeah, that really, I was detoxing from the COVID conditions and the chemicals used to clean the back of that meat locker I was detoxing from it, and then I had to get the vaccine, and the vaccine just went and kicked me right back in. I felt I had to. At that time, the government was saying, that you were going to have your proof of vaccination to go to the stores. And so I felt, I didn't want Dad to have to go. He's in his 80s. So I went and I said to them, I basically told the military, if, I'm allergic to it, you could give me placebo, a saline, a vitamin shot. Okay. You can make sure it happens without anybody knowing about it. This is Las Cruces from fucking New Mexico. They give the vaccine. Well, because I volunteered to do it, which I won't again. Okay. Not everybody reacts the same, guys. Some people have horrific allergic reactions to vaccines, but those are people that have exceptional immune systems. Vaccines are not, the Krishnamurti and Salk had this. They're not the end all be all. They're not a solution to the problem. The problem is toxic environments. The solution, don't be toxic. Okay. All right. Britney Spears could have explained it to him. But so you're like, so they're like, yeah. And so that's the solution. And it's really hard. But life's eternal and grace is infinite. So we have to get the technology to study the most superior man, not example of a man, the most superior man. I'm not an example of a man. I am a man. Okay. I'm not here to be an example. Okay. Here's the truth. Be faithful to the truth. Okay. That's right. It's good. Do it. Okay. An example. A lot of people don't follow examples. They drink and drive anyway. They use money for sexual procreation anyway. Okay, so I'm not an example. I am the way, the truth, and life. I am the example of the way and the truth and life. No, I am the way, the truth, and life. Okay, example, Pope Leo, Joel Osteen, Robert Prince, Creflo Dollar, Joyce Meyer. Okay, that's an example of the standard of manhood. Me, I'm the way, the truth, and life. Thanks, Bruce Lee. I love you too. Bok bok. Thanks, Bruce. She's cute, Bruce. She's adorable. She's very adorable. She looks a lot like her mommy. Yeah. She also looks like her father too. He's a very, very physically attractive individual. You know, that one guy. Well, let's look at Michelle Obama, you know, stuff. And but physically, he's a very attractive person. And she looks a lot like her mom too. Yeah, the little mouth, and yeah, it's so cute. She's so cute. You look like her mom. Yeah, you're cute. And I was looking at the video things. She's cute. And life's eternal, grace is infinite, guys. You know, like I told my daughter Emily, who never met Mary Ann, you know, you just have to look at me. And I carry my mom everywhere with me in my heart. And if we're ever separated, Emily, you can carry me with you everywhere. And she goes, in my heart. Right. My heart. So cute. Right. So, yeah, daughters are the best. Oh, they are, you know. Yeah, my dad he has a better relationship with what makes him comfortable with his daughters than he does with his son, because his son has to do things that are not comfortable. His son has to be the standard among all these examples of, you know, a dad's thing on the wall. You know, not everybody is a complete waste. They can always serve as a bad example, right? There you go. And so this is the first time in the history of the world we've ever had a man like me available to the public as a standard with technology the way it is now. Okay. That's why it's me. Okay. Suzuki, you know, why hasn't it stopped? If they were capable of self-correction, they would have. And so therefore we have the stories, the books, and so forth. But I did everything required of Revelation to go back to Genesis to begin by January 22nd, 2013. They just kept trying to make me into a monster since then. And the only thing they've done is make everybody go, who's the real monster? Who's the real monsters? Won't you please get off the TV? Can't keep them off the TV. Can't keep them off the TV. It's just like Jeff Foxworthy with the rednecks, you know. Problem is, we just can't keep the difference one of his Pandalarium. Right? Why are we making this movie? Like, they had this one little movie I watched, and it was from Tulsa in 2026. A little melodramatic, you know. It's an Indian movie. Well, that's what they call it, but they're not Indians, but that's okay. Indians are, you know, Diwali, they're from India, you know, they're from India, okay. And the people here are not from India. No, they're from here. They call themselves Chippewa, Choctaw, Seminole, Delaware, Pequot, you know. Yeah. Illini, Lakota, Dene, you know, so lots of different, like in India, lots of different dialects, lots of different, you know, in they've labeled the eastern portion of the United States as Algonquin speaking, okay? They've labeled most of the people in the western portion as Athabascan speaking, so they had a different dialect because of the barriers and the tribal. So, I would think, yeah, because they're similar. I think Mexico and the southern hemisphere, which is what I get from the languages there. Guatemala, Mexico, Montezuma, you know, Cuelica, Quinete, Galale, you know. I think they're all got, so they would all be Athabascan, to the best of my knowledge. I can't tell you for sure. I dropped out of school because it was genocidal. Okay, so can't tell you, and I'm not going to kick that wall down to impress you. Okay. So, well, what corrects technology is his faith and his courage of kindness and his faith. It's not his physical prowess. Even though I could, yeah. My dad could beat up, when Patrick would tell people that, his dad could beat up your dad. He wouldn't want to, but he can. Just like when Noah and Cochise can. My dad can beat up, yes. Don't want to, but yeah, they know. We'll just poison him to death. We know ninjutsu. Never pay full price for late pizza, right? So, Earl, you feeling okay? I'm feeling okay. I haven't listened to any of the last three. I probably won't listen to this one. I'm doing some stuff. I cleaned up everything on my thing here, and we're going very isolated, nearby, eliminating the military influence and giving back the state of New Mexico to New Mexico and the poor southern states where they're doing most of the genocide operations back their sanity. I'm from the United States of America. My name is Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. You can hear them there NASCARs revving up at them their family reunions. Okay, at my family reunions, you will find people that look like Bruce Lee. Okay, Bruce Leroy. Okay. Yes, you will. Yes, my Uncle Jerry has a son named Jimmy. Okay, who is was supposed to be Irish, but mostly, I guess, English is what they say, and Okinawan. Okay. And Jimmy is my cousin. Okay. And you got Larry Lewis Bowen and Corey Bowen and Patrick. And we've got all kinds of different folks. We got Venegases and Naviers and Provincios. And I don't know what Nina's, gosh darn it, I've never asked what Nina's surname is before marrying Lincho. I don't know. I know Josie is a Provincio, and she married Mr. Javier. Okay. So I know they're Provincios and Javiers. Okay. I don't know on the Venegas clan, I don't know what Nina's parents' name is. I don't know. No one's ever told me. I should inquire. I will, when we all get together this month, I will inquire. What is the, her maiden, what is Nina's maiden name, y'all? Which Mexico family Robinson is it around here? You know what I'm saying? And so I do know my second wife is a Gomez Hole with an African biological father from Mississippi at a Job Corps. I do know that. I don't know much of anything else. They just used records of things that Catholic Social Services. They didn't do the whole little, hey, it's the Mormon DNA test. And I trust that about half as far as Jealous Darlin trusts Johnny Rodriguez, right? It's Ruth's line. Ruth's line is very skeptical. Not cynical, skeptical. Okay. Cynical's, I don't believe there's a God because I can't see it or sell it, or I'm an engineer, I have to prove it. Okay, that's cynical, that's stupid, right? Skeptical, he says he's faithful and has faith in the infinite glory of God and is eternally faithful to the natural laws provided by the infinite glory of God. But he asks everybody for money to make science projects to kill people and spy on their houses. So he's cynical. I'm skeptical that they'll ever be good Christians or Muslims. But that's not my issue. My issue, be a good Christian Muslim like Father Abraham, right? Okay. Hi. Okay, you guys understand? Anybody else love Sun Yat-sen? I love Sun Yat-sen too. Okay, guys, peace out, man.